Hello, good morning students, and welcome back once again to another video of laws of motion. So previously we studied about first law of motion, and in the last video we studied about momentum, which is a new physical quantity that we studied. And the momentum of an object is described with the symbol P, and it is given by the product of mass and velocity. So in order to find the momentum or to understand momentum, we have to consider two physical quantities of that object, that is its mass and its velocity, and together its momentum can be described. Okay, so suppose we have a vehicle that is moving with initial velocity u, okay, and its mass is m. So at this particular point, its momentum P is m into u, correct? We know this because momentum is mass into initial velocity, because it is the initial velocity. So we can write that this is the initial momentum. But now the vehicle's velocity is increased. The vehicle's velocity is increased after some time, and it becomes final velocity v. But the mass remains same. However, the velocity has changed. That means the momentum of the object will also change. I hope this is clear to you, students. What happens is, the momentum is described by simply mass into velocity. But if we consider the initial and final velocities, then the initial velocity is given by u, then the initial momentum Pi is given by m into u, but the mass remains same. So after some time, even when the velocity changes, the mass of the object does not change, it is constant. So the final velocity is given by v, so we can write that this is the final momentum. Pf is given by mass into velocity. Now, why did I explain this? Because we need to understand the second law of motion, and second law of motion is described by momentum. So in order to understand second law of motion, you first needed to have the concept of what momentum is and what is initial and final momentum. Now, the second law of motion states that this momentum changes according to the force applied and for how much time the force is applied. Okay, I repeat once again. The second law of motion states that the momentum of an object changes according to the force applied on that object and for how much time the force is applied. Okay, the statement states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. This is the statement. Obviously, I will give the statement once again. Don't need to worry about it. But we need to understand. And we take the example of the textbook, that is, let's say there is a vehicle over here which has been broken down. That means it is not working. And two persons are pushing the vehicle in this direction. They are pushing the vehicle in this direction. So, initially the vehicle is not working. So, its initial velocity u is 0. And the vehicle has a certain mass m. Vehicle has a certain mass m. And its initial velocity u is 0. After some time, when they applied the force, and simply applying the force and releasing it does not work. You have to constantly apply the force for some amount of time. You cannot just simply push the car one time and it will go on its own. No, it does not work that way. You have to apply the force for a longer amount of time in order to move the car. So the time is also very, very important. And after some time, when you apply the force, the same vehicle which is now moving in this direction is having velocity v. Before initial velocity was 0, but now it is having certain velocity v. We don't know what it is, so we are just writing v. But the mass is still the same. So previously what happened was P initial is m into u, that is m into 0. So its initial momentum is Pi is 0, and final momentum Pf is m into v. Why am I saying this? Because we see that the momentum has changed. Initially the momentum was 0, but now the momentum has changed. This change happened because of the applied unbalanced force. Okay, I hope it is clear to you, students. So the second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum, change in momentum in certain amount of time, is called rate of. I think we have studied this term when we studied acceleration. The rate of change of velocity is called acceleration. In the same way, the rate of change of momentum. See, in order to write that, we have to use this, the rate of change of momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum upon time taken. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. This is what the second law of motion states. So initial momentum changes to final momentum and in a certain amount of time, that is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. I hope it is clear to you, students. If you have any doubts, you can ask once again, okay, in the comment section. Initial momentum, final momentum. Initial momentum was 0, final momentum changed to mv because we applied the force for a certain amount of time. And this is how it is described. Okay, everyone? But we know what is final momentum? mv. So I am writing over here F proportional to m into v. And initial momentum is m into u. Okay. Forget this example now, that was just for your understanding purpose. We are writing now general formula. So final momentum is mv. It is not always necessary that the initial velocity will be 0. That was just an example. Initial velocity is always 0 is not possible. Okay, sometimes it may be something different. It may be a specific number. It is not always possible that the initial velocity will be 0. Sometimes the vehicle might be moving with a certain velocity. So you check the question once again, and it is not always necessary that it is going to be 0. So I am writing pi as mu and time taken as t. F proportional to simple mathematics, taking m common, it becomes v minus u upon t. Now we have studied that v minus u is what? V minus u upon t is acceleration. So it becomes F proportional to m into acceleration. Okay, so in order to understand what is force, it is directly proportional to the mass of the object and the acceleration of the object. But this is not the formula of force. This is not the formula of force. Okay, in order to understand this, we need to convert it into a mathematical equation. Okay, we need to convert it into mathematical equation. And we know that whenever we remove this proportionality sign, there is a constant to balance the equation. So F is equal to K into M into A, where K is a constant. K is a constant. K is a constant. Now, after much research, it is found that the value of K is 1. Remember, whenever this proportionality sign is removed, there is always a constant. Okay? This is not just for the formula of force. In the next chapter, we will study about gravitation. In gravitation, there is another formula describing gravitational force. So in that, when we remove this proportionality sign, there is a constant and its value is not 1. So for different equations and different formulas, you have different constants and the value of those constants is not always 1. This is for this particular formula that we have a constant and its value is 1. So what happens is F is equal to 1 into MA, and 1 into any number is number itself. So finally what do you have? F is equal to M into A. So simple, if you need to find the force applied on an object, we need to find the acceleration and multiply it by mass. It is quite simple. We go through it once again. The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. So rate of change of momentum change in a certain amount of time is directly proportional to the applied unbalanced force. We apply the value of final momentum and initial momentum, that is Pm is mv, Pi is mu. Getting m common, we get v minus u upon t. We studied in the previous chapter that v minus u upon t is acceleration. So mass into acceleration is directly proportional to the force. Now when we remove the proportionality sign, there is a constant k, okay, and the value of k is 1. So substituting the value of k as 1 in the equation, we get f is equal to 1 into ma, and 1 multiplied to any number is the number itself. So 1 into ma is ma, and f is equal to mass into acceleration. I hope it is clear to you students. If you have any questions, you can ask once again in the video, and I'll be happy to answer. We'll study more about this second law of motion and the third law of motion in the next video. Have a wonderful day.